Hey, welcome to the first episode of The Safety Factor. You know, early in my career, I witnessed an accident that changed my entire perspective on safety. It was a telehandler, and it hit a scaffold. The noise, the chaos, the aftermath, it was devastating. It was just not about the numbers anymore, or compliance. It was about the people whose lives were on the line. What about their families, their future? Everything hung in the balance for them. That's why I'm so passionate about what we do here at Safety View and why I created this podcast, The Safety Factor. Because I believe we can do better. We have to do better. Today, we're talking about the human factor and how we can build a safety culture that truly makes a difference. A culture where everyone goes home safe every single day. Let's face it, sometimes safety can feel like a burden. It's another checklist, another training session, another set of rules that we try to follow. But what if I told you that safety culture could actually boost your bottom line? Companies with a strong safety culture see fewer accidents, lower insurance costs, and higher employee morale. They attract top talent, improve productivity, and build a reputation that clients actually trust. But the kicker is, it all starts with trust. Think about a time you felt unsafe at work. You saw a hazard, you hesitated to speak up. You felt pressured to cut corners, even though you knew it was risky. That's what happens when there's a lack of trust. Look, I've been there. I remember working on a site where the foreman ruled with an iron fist. It was a don't ask, don't tell motto. But people were scared to report problems. It created a breeding ground for accidents. But then something changed. They introduced an anonymous reporting system. Suddenly, the floodgates opened. Workers started sharing concerns, big and small. And guess what? Incidences plummeted. They went way down. That's the power of trust. If people feel safe speaking up, you can identify and address risks before they turn into disasters. So how do we build trust of that kind? It's about more than just open door policies and suggestion boxes. It's about creating a culture where everyone feels heard, valued, and respected. But let's shift gears for a bit. We've talked about the heavy stuff, the consequences of neglecting safety, and the importance of trust. Now let's talk about something that gets me really fired up. Empowering your team. Think of it this way. You've built the foundation of trust. Now it's time to give your people the tools, the authority, the confidence to own safety themselves. It's like taking the training wheels off and watching them ride. I never forget this one client we had at Safety View, and they were struggling with low morale and a bunch of near misses. So they decided to try something radical. They launched a Safety Champions program. Basically, they asked for volunteers on the front lines, the folks that really knew the job inside and out, to lead safety initiatives with their team. Now, these weren't just managers or supervisors. These were workers that were passionate about safety and protecting their colleagues. The results, boom. Incidents dropped like a rock. Morale went through the roof. And workers, they were just happy to be there now. They had pride. They felt like they were part of a solution. Their ideas actually led to some cool innovations in safety practices. So how can you implement things like this at your workplace? Here are a couple things to keep in mind. Get your employees involved in decision making. Let them contribute to the safety policies, risk assessments, the whole 9 yards. When people feel like they have a voice, they're more likely to buy in. Recognize and reward proactive behavior. A simple thank you goes a long way, but you can get creative with it. Send a shout out in a company newsletter, small bonuses, Amazon gift card, or even Safety Star of the Month or something. Do an award. Whatever works for your team. Provide training and resources they need to succeed. Empowerment isn't just about giving people responsibility, it's setting them up for success. Make sure they have the knowledge and the tools they need to make smart decisions. If employees feel empowered, safety becomes a shared mission. It's not just a top-down directive anymore. It's like the old saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you'll feed him for a lifetime. Except in this case, you're teaching to build a safer workplace for everyone. All right, so let's talk about what separates good companies from truly great companies. Continuous improvement. See, compliance is important. It sets the baseline, but it's that ongoing evaluation, that hunger to get better, that really drives lasting change. It's like you've built a solid house, but now you're constantly upgrading it, making it stronger, more resilient. At Safety View, we've seen firsthand how powerful this can be. We've worked with companies using predictive analytics to analyze past incidents and near misses. They're basically finding patterns and addressing risk before they even have a chance to escalate. It's like having a crystal ball for safety. There's a lot of amazing technology that's emerging. There's wearable sensors that monitor fatigue. There's AI-driven risk assessments, VR training that puts people in realistic scenarios without any danger. This stuff isn't science fiction anymore. It's here, and it's making a real difference. So, how can you foster this mindset of continuous improvement? Track more than just the incident rates. Look at engagement, participation in the programs you're setting up. How are your employees feeling about them? The more data you have, the better you can understand what's working and what needs to be changed. Host workshops. Get your team together, brainstorm ways to enhance safety. You might be surprised at the creative ideas that come out of it. And then stay informed. Keep up with the latest trends, new technologies, best practices. The world of safety is constantly evolving, and you need to be ready to adapt. Safety isn't a destination, it's a journey. And the companies that embrace that journey, that are always looking to improve, those are the ones that are going to thrive. Now, I want to get really practical now. Let's talk about some specific strategies you can implement today as a leader, whether you're managing a massive team or a small crew. Because here's the thing, leadership isn't about setting rules. It's about inspiring a mindset. When you can prioritize safety, when you show that it matters at every level, your team will follow suit. It's like being the conductor of an orchestra, setting the tempo and bringing everyone together to create something beautiful and harmonious. So how do you make this happen? How do you become the safety conductor? Well, I've got 6 strategies for you, and we're going to dive into each one. There are things that you can start implementing today to build a safety culture that truly protects and uplifts your team. Strategy 1, make training interactive and memorable. Let's be honest, old school training methods is PowerPoints and one size fits all. They don't cut it anymore. To get your team engaged, you need to make training hands-on and relevant. I remember visiting a company that was doing some stuff in VR. They were simulating high-risk scenarios, crane operations, confined space entries, things like this. And the workers weren't listening to what they should do. They were experiencing it in a safe, controlled environment. They saw a 25% drop in incidences within 6 months. You don't need fancy technology to make training effective. Get creative. Role-play scenarios with your team. How to respond to equipment failures. Conduct drills where they practice handling emergencies. And most importantly, tailor the sessions to a specific job site. Make it real, make it relevant, and keep your crew engaged. Now ask yourself, when was the last time your team left a training session feeling truly confident and equipped, where they were talking about it? You know, they were excited about what they just went through. Strategy 2, leverage technology to stay ahead of the risks. Look, technology isn't just a replacement for good leadership. It's a powerful tool that can enhance it. In construction, there's tools like AI and data analytics and they're going to be a game changer. At Safety View, we've seen companies using wearable tech to monitor workers' physical conditions in real time, like heart rate, fatigue levels, things like that. These wearables can send alerts if something seems off, allowing supervisors to intervene before an accident even happens. It's like a guardian angel on a job site. And there's much more coming out, like drones for inspections in hard-to-reach areas, predictive analytics to identify patterns and prevent future risks, mobile apps to make reporting hazards easier. The key is to view technology as your partner. It provides data, but you have to act. Strategy 3, turn safety into a daily conversation. Safety culture isn't built in monthly meetings or annual audits. It's built every day, brick by brick. Make safety a constant topic of discussion, not something that only comes up after an incident. Here's a simple idea, pro tip, however you want to label it. Start every shift with a quick safety briefing. Highlight yesterday's achievements, discuss the day's task and associated risks, and invite feedback from your team. Doesn't have to be long, just a few minutes to get everyone on the same page. I was talking to a construction manager once, and he told me he implemented that suggestion and completely changed his routine. What he saw was it transformed his crew. Workers started pointing out hazards they might have overlooked before, and it created this awesome sense of shared responsibility. And don't forget, walk the talk, get out in the field, observe what's happening, and have those informal conversations about safety. The more visible you are, the more your team will know you're truly committed to their well-being. I know it's tough. As leaders, managers, we get burdened with everything that hits us during the day. But safety is one of those things we need to prioritize. It goes to the well-being of our people, the company. It's all around. And that leads me into strategy 4. Celebrate the success, big or small. This is huge. Recognizing safety achievements is one of the most powerful ways to reinforce good behavior. It's not about meeting the compliance goals. It's about creating pride and ownership within your team. Think about it. A weekly safety star award during a meeting. Celebrate milestones like achieving 100 days without lost time incident. Even just a quick thank you note to someone who went above and beyond. Those little things are going to make a difference. And remember, what you reward is what you encourage. Make sure we are rewarding those proactive, safety-conscious behaviors. And the 5th strategy, set the standard through your leadership. Leadership isn't just about making policies. It's about embodying the values you want to see in your team. When your actions align with your words, that's when you inspire true trust and commitment. I knew a CEO of a company, and he was an inspiring leader. He would participate in safety drills right alongside his crew. He didn't just stand back and watch. He put on the gear, climbed scaffolding, the whole deal. That is the kind of leadership that speaks volumes. His team knew safety wasn't a rule. It was a priority, and it started from the top and worked its way down. So lead by example. Wear your PPE. Be the first to report a hazard. And share your stories with your team, both good and bad. Create a culture of openness and learning. And the 6th strategy, and the last one for today, is invest in long-term change. Building a strong safety culture isn't a sprint. It is a marathon. It takes time, consistency, dedication. The one-off initiatives give you a temporary boost, but real lasting change requires a long-term commitment. Think of it like planting a tree. Nurture it, care for it, and over time it will grow strong, and provide shade for generations. And then potentially it'll provide the wood that will go into the buildings we're constructing. So how do you make safety part of your culture, part of the company's DNA? Establish clear safety metrics. Involve everyone in the process, from the CEO to the newest hire. And audit and adapt your strategies regularly. The world is changing, and safety practices need to evolve with it. So before we wrap up this segment, I want you to take a moment and think about your own workplace. How often do you talk about safety with your team? When was the last time you recognized someone for proactive behavior? And are you leveraging all the tools and resources available to you? Leadership is a journey, my friends, and every step you take towards fostering a stronger safety culture makes a difference, not just in reducing risks, but in creating a workplace where people feel valued, respected, and empowered. Those 6 strategies you can start implementing today, right now. But remember, safety leadership isn't about avoiding accidents. It's about building trust, empowering your team, and fostering a culture that protects and uplifts everyone. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Safety culture isn't a task. It's a way of thinking, working, and leading. So that's it for this episode of The Safety Factor. If you want more insights on how to lead with safety, be sure to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, connect with us. Follow, like, and review The Safety Factor on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Your feedback helps us reach more safety champions like you. And be sure to connect with Safety View on LinkedIn and all of your favorite social media platforms. Until next time, stay safe, stay proactive, and stay inspired. Thank you.